Coming up, investigators are searching for a cause to a 3-alarm fire at a storage facility. North Dakota House Speaker Kim Koppelman announces his retirement after District 13 Republicans endorse other candidates for state representative. And another flock of turkeys impacted by bird flu, the latest county to be hit by the virus. Hello and welcome to the Nightly Review. We begin with a look at tonight's headlines. Then a closer look at the announcement from Concordia College in Moorhead that the school is starting up teams for students to take part in competitive varsity level esports. And in tonight's one-on-one conversation, I speak with Katrina Christiansen, the Democrat taking on Republican incumbent U.S. Senator John Hoeven in the November election. Christiansen will talk about her background and why she's running. But first, tonight, investigators are searching for the cause of a 3-alarm fire this morning at a Fargo storage facility. It happened just after 3 o'clock at 1418 First Avenue North. 14th Street North and 15th Street North at First Avenue were blocked off for several hours as fire crews fought the blaze. We're told the building was mostly empty and no injuries are reported. North Dakota House Speaker Kim Koppelman has announced his retirement after losing his bid for the endorsement of Republicans in West Fargo's District 13. At their legislative endorsing convention Tuesday night, members voted to endorse West Fargo School Board President and former teacher Jim Jonas and first-term incumbent Representative Austin Schauer. The two Republican candidates are seeking election to 2 open seats on the June 14th ballot. We now know how often West Fargo firefighters were called to action in 2021. Chief Dan Fuller says the department responded to 2,539 calls for service last year. Of those, the department responded to 266 instances of 2 or more calls at the same time. Fuller also says losses from fires in the city increased 54% year over year. You can find a link to the city's annual fire report at WDAYRadioNow.com. The City of West Fargo offering low-interest loans and technical assistance to home buyers making major home improvements. Gate City Bank is setting aside $2 million for the program. Owner-occupied single-family homes valued at less than $250,000 located north of I-94 are eligible to apply. 10 or 15-year loans range from $10,000 to $75,000 with rates as low as 2.25%. One of the newest candidates to enter the race for the Fargo School Board is talking about why she's running.
I'm concerned that currently the board is not being good role models on how to have discussions with people that you disagree, how to be respectful of others, how to encourage, and really the purpose of having a board, of having multiple people, is to get different ideas and for everybody to be encouraged to put their ideas out there.
Parent Kristen Charbonneau says her approach will also focus on developing improved relationships between parents in the district and the school board. 5 seats are coming open on the board. The City of Fargo is selling some downtown property to the Kilbourne Group. The City Commission approved the $163,000 sale on Monday. The property is located in the 400 block of 3rd Street North. Proposals for the property show a 115-unit apartment building along with 152 parking spaces. We're told the investment will total $25 million. North Dakotans are looking back on an historic blizzard that happened 25 years ago this week. Up to 20 inches of snow fell in some places, trapping thousands in their homes and leaving more than 75,000 households without power. The storm was responsible for the deaths of more than 100,000 head of cattle. Total damages topped $44 million with 2 deaths and 16 injuries. Another flock of Minnesota birds is being impacted by bird flu. The State Board of Animal Health says Becker County has been impacted by the virus. Officials say avian influenza was spotted recently in a flock of 45,000 turkeys in the county. Bird flu has impacted 9 counties in Minnesota so far this year. Minnesota lawmakers are negotiating over how much of the state surplus to spend on education. Democrats in the House have unveiled a package that would spend more than $3 billion over 3 years. Senate Republicans are proposing about $30 million in spending. The plan from Democrats includes hiring thousands of mental health workers. Republicans would prioritize literacy and the hiring of reading coaches. On a lighter note, John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard is scheduled to come to Mandan. Schneider, who played Bo Duke, is set to race at Dakota Speedway on June 10th. He will also be part of several events around the community for a 3-day period beginning June 10th. Schneider will be giving rides in the General Lee. That's the orange 1969 Dodge Charger made famous in the show. In a closer look tonight, Concordia College in Moorhead will be offering competitive varsity-level esports for students beginning next year. The college will be joining the National Association of College Esports, the largest association of varsity esports programs in North America. With membership in the association, Concordia will be able to broadcast games for fans on the streaming service Twitch.
We're going to have technical support staff that are going to be students. We are also going to, at some point, develop the use of our TV studio, so we'll have camera operators, we are going to have announcers, people working in the production booth, all sorts of different stuff, people helping with assistant coaching roles, lots of infrastructure to build up, and I love having students basically manning tons of positions.
Now, initial discussions to bring esports to campus were put on hold because of COVID-19. But program development is now moving forward, including the purchase of 18 gaming computers. They're also remodeling the basement of Park Region Hall this summer. And the next big step is hiring a coach.
I've been a gamer for a long time, and I work with a lot of students in my department, and there's constant chatter about games and interest in participating in them in all sorts of different ways. And it got us, Noah and I, thinking about how we could get something like that at Concordia, and it really fits our mission. It's got it checks all the boxes that we would hope for, and lets people compete.
We're told the first games will be League of Legends and Rocket League. Competition is set to begin in January 2023, and gaming space is planned to be completed and available for student use at the start of this coming fall semester. Time now for a check of the forecast for tonight and tomorrow from meteorologist Justin Storm in the Skywatch Weather Center.
Thanks, Tom. As we head through the rest of this evening into tonight, these scattered snow and rain showers are going to turn over to snow showers, and they're going to persist on and off throughout tonight with windy conditions out of the north-northwest between 20 and 40 miles per hour and gusting as high as 60. Do expect some periods of reduced visibility when wind and snow mix together tonight into tomorrow morning. A winter weather advisory does remain in effect until tomorrow afternoon, as well as a high wind warning until tomorrow evening. The snow showers do wind down by Thursday afternoon. We'll see about 2 to 4 inches of accumulation here in the FM Metro, with 6 and 9 plus off to our east and lakes country.
It could happen to you or someone you love. One moment, one diagnosis can change everything. Thankfully, there's a program that helps caring people uplift families through a crisis. Lend a Hand Up, raising financial help and hope through community benefits and online campaigns. A program that boosts generosity so gifts go further. Lend a Hand Up helps you help your neighbors. Learn more and give at lendahandup.org.
Welcome back. In tonight's one-on-one conversation, my guest is Katrina Christiansen. She's the Democratic candidate running against Republican incumbent U.S. Senator John Hoeven. Christiansen has a Ph.D. in agricultural engineering and is a professor at the University of Jamestown. Being a political newcomer, I first asked her to share information about herself and her professional background.
Actually lived in Jamestown now for 11 years. I moved here with my son and husband in 2011, and we've had 2 other children since we've lived in Jamestown. Before that, I did my undergrad at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in biosystems engineering. I did my master's degree in biosystems engineering, and I looked at value-added processing for sorghum, which is commonly known as Milo. And then I worked as an engineer at an ethanol plant in York, Nebraska. And then I went on to do my PhD at Iowa State University in agricultural engineering, again, looking at biorenewable fuels. Before moving here and working for Cargill Malt as the pilot project manager. And after I was laid off at Cargill Malt, I worked for a startup in Fargo called Intelligent Malt before I started working as an engineering professor. So my background is problem solving, and that's really why I'm in this race. I don't think that the delegation that's in Washington, D.C., that's supposed to be serving North Dakotans is solving our problems. They pretty much do what Mitch McConnell tells them to do. So that's, you know, why I'm in this. I really do see a need to formulate achievable solutions for our problems that we have here.
So what would you say are some of the biggest problems here in North Dakota, and what might the solutions be?
So, for example, I mean, and this is at the state level, but this is an example. The oil and gas out west, right? So if we're flaring 30% of the natural gas, that means that for the state, the time when the oil revenue stops coming in is 30% sooner than it should be if the resource was being managed appropriately. That's one example. The other risk associated with dependency on just oil and ag is that when the oil money runs out, and it will, there will either be disruptive technology that displaces oil. And this is me as an engineer thinking about it. The state will have a revenue shortage, right? And one of the ways that we could diversify our economy is by actually increasing the value-added capacity for our agricultural products in the state. North Dakota is the third largest producer of agricultural raw products after Colorado or California and Iowa. But we have a sixth of the processing capacity of Iowa. It's like $3 to $4 billion worth of value-added revenue that the state is missing out on. Nobody's working on that problem, to my knowledge. They seem very focused on kind of the hot button issues, like the Durham report.
As you know, the incumbent in this race, John Hoeven, has held the Senate seat for some time. What are your thoughts on Hoeven and his performance in serving the people of North Dakota?
I think his own party is questioning his leadership, which is evidence that his veneer is eroding in terms of his ability to kind of be the, I guess, charmed boy from North Dakota. I think that he is arrogant. I think that he takes North Dakotan votes for granted. I think he serves special interests. He's not interested in what regular people that live in North Dakota have to deal with. I think that he is an Ivy League golfer. You know, he's interested in hanging out with his peer group.
And my thanks to Katrina Christiansen for joining me for tonight's conversation. She says she wants to be an advocate for all of North Dakota. The incumbent, John Hoeven, has never lost a statewide race. However, Hoeven's margin of victory was slim this past weekend over Republican challenger State Representative Rick Becker in the endorsement vote by the state Republican Party. Well, that will do it for this Wednesday night, April 6th, 2022. I'm Tom Tucker. Thanks for watching the Nightly Review.